It's the Financial Style on New Style Radio 98.7 FM. Making money makes sense.
Funke Abimbola was recently on our show. She's a multi-award winning UK-based lawyer and diversity campaigner, and she was telling us about some of her work to support and mentor aspiring solicitors. But she's not just limited to that. She's recently put out a medical scholarship to honour her father, and I'm really pleased to say that she's joining us on the line this morning to tell us a little bit more about it. Good morning, Funke. How are you?
Good morning, Marisha. I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
Yes, I'm well. So, you said that you wanted to do something to honour your father, who I understand was a doctor. Tell us about this medical scholarship and what's really spurred you to do this.
I was really feeling sort of unsettled, since my father died. He died almost 4 years ago now of liver cancer, and it was a real shock to everybody and unexpected and so on. And I come from a medical family, so although I became a solicitor, everyone else in the family has gone down the medical route, and I chose not to do that at the time. So medicine's very, very close to me, and I've been really thinking about what I could do to really honour my dad, actually here in the UK, and whilst also supporting medical students in the UK from a BAME background. You're probably very aware of all the issues with junior doctors and the contract negotiations, but what a lot of people aren't aware of is the impact that's having on people currently studying medicine. It's not just the junior doctors that are affected by all this uncertainty. And medical students are dropping out in large numbers because of the negotiations and how it's all going. So I wanted to kill several birds with one stone, honour my father, and also do my bit to support medical students from an Afro-Caribbean African background going forward.
Now, I have to say, I think it's fantastic that you are not only honouring him in this way, and of course our condolences for your loss, but that you are also recognising, as you say, a major issue with regards to new doctors and young doctors coming through. So, this bursary, what, outside of the actual money, obviously, which is there to help, how do you really want to help young people who are aspiring to be in medicine?
There's a very comprehensive mentoring package that goes with this, and we're hoping to provide mentoring to more than one student. So this year there's only one bursary available, but I've got 10 mentors, all doctors, very seasoned in different specialities, working in the UK, all from the Afro-Caribbean background, who are willing to mentor up to 10 students every year. So what I anticipate is that we'll be helping up to 10 medical students every year in some way, shape or form. And the mentoring is very, very structured, lots of soft skills mentoring there as well as sort of tapping into networks and that whole visibility piece that's very, very important when you're a student. So it's a complete package, quite aside from the bursary alone.
Yeah, because from our previous discussion, one of the things that struck me about our conversation about the work you were doing to mentor young solicitors was that you were really keen to help young people avoid some of the challenges that you had faced and some of the difficulties that you yourself had gone through. As you say, you're not a doctor, but your siblings are. So again, what sort of challenges do you see that youngsters are actually, and having to go through again, and not just the finances?
It's tough. Medical school is tough. I mean, it's, you need top grades to get in, and the pass mark for all the exams is very, very high because, of course, if you're being tested on anatomy, a 50% pass mark's not going to cut it. You either know the human body very, very well or you don't. So the academic side of it is really, really tough, and exceptionally bright people do fail these exams, purely because the pass mark's about 80%. So, that's a very, very high benchmark. The hours are tough. Looking after patients is incredibly demanding. And of course, to do medicine, it has to be a real vocation for you. But working within the NHS and some of the challenges around some of the management issues, for example, hospital beds, etc. It's a really, really tough environment being in a hospital as a medical student and also as a junior doctor. So you've got all those sorts of things to deal with. But specifically, if you're from a black Afro-Caribbean background or black African background, you're far more likely to end up being disciplined once you qualify as a doctor. For whatever reason, our group of society is overly represented when it comes to disciplinary matters. So there's a very strong sort of cultural bias there. I've worked with some of the diversity managers within certain trusts, and that's all they can put it down to, is that there must be an underlying cultural bias, because there's no other reason to explain why there's such a high representation of Africans and Afro-Caribbeans in the disciplinary stages. So there are all these challenges as well. How you're perceived, how your performance might be measured, and somehow being disadvantaged because you're black and a medic.
Yeah, and I suppose the problem you also can have is educational background. And I say that because, for example, a very good friend of mine is a doctor. She's actually coming out of her junior years now. And from that perspective, for example, I've seen the journey that she's been through in order to actually study. But, I remember us, if you like, we went to grammar schools as young girls, but I remember us travelling from literally the opposite side of the city to go to school with young girls who, quite frankly, were coming from very well-off families, and we were there based on achievement. We passed the test to get us in there. It wasn't based on anything else. So, I see your point completely, and think it's extremely valid and very admirable. So tell us, how can youngsters and young aspiring doctors actually apply for this bursary?
So you apply by sending your CV and a detailed covering letter with a 300-word statement explaining why you think you're a good candidate to this email address, akindoliescholarship@gmail.com. And Akindolie is spelled AKINDOLIE, no dots or dashes or anything. So akindoliescholarship@gmail.com. And the bursary amount is up to £1,500, and it will be awarded by the end of September. So those are the timeframes I'm working towards. I'd like all applications in by the end of August, so we can have a clear month to review all the applications.
That's great. Well, we're going to have all the details on the website. Funke Abimbola, thank you so much. And you know what? I say thank you for your time this morning, but also thank you for being someone who was prepared to make this change.
Thank you.
And as I say, all the details will go onto the website, so make sure that you look out for that. And if you know any aspiring doctors, tell them about it. We'll be back after the news.
It's The Financial Style on New Style Radio 98.7 FM, making money make sense.